I was 14 years old when my grandfather came to me in a dream. He had been dead for 3 years. I had cried at his funeral, watched them lower his body into the red earth, felt the finality of it all. I thought I would never see him again. But that night, he appeared, not as a ghost, not as a shadow, but as himself, whole, clear, more real than anything I had seen while awake. He did not speak many words. He simply looked at me, smiled, and said, "Tell your mother to check the roof of the old house."
Tell your mother to check the roof of the old house.
Then, he was gone. I woke up with tears on my face and my heart pounding. The next morning, I was afraid to tell anyone. I thought they would say I was imagining things. That grief was playing tricks on my mind. But when my grandmother saw my face at breakfast, she knew immediately. "Who came to you?" she asked.
Who came to you?
In Africa, when your ancestors appear in your dreams, it is not a coincidence. It is not your imagination. It is a visitation. And our elders knew exactly what to do when it happened. Come closer. Let me tell you what these dreams mean. This belief, this understanding of ancestral dreams, is not unique to one tribe or one nation. It stretches across the entire African continent, from the deserts of the Sahara to the forests of the Congo, from the coasts of West Africa to the mountains of East Africa. Everywhere, in homes where tradition still breathes, the elders will tell you the same thing. When your ancestors visit you in dreams, you must pay attention. In traditional African spirituality, the boundary between the living and the dead is not a wall, it is a veil, thin, permeable. And dreams are the place where that veil lifts, where the two worlds touch. Our elders understood this. They did not treat dreams as random firings of the brain, as the modern world does. They treated dreams as messages, as warnings, as blessings, as instructions from those who have gone before. When you woke up and told your family, "I saw grandmother last night," no one laughed. No one dismissed you. Instead, they gathered round. They asked questions. What did she say? What was she wearing? What did she look like? Was she happy or troubled? Every detail mattered, because every detail was a message. And then, the elders would interpret. They would tell you what the dream meant, what action to take, what prayer to say, what offering to make. Because ancestral dreams were not just experiences to remember, they were instructions to follow. Now, let me tell you what it means when your ancestors appear in your dreams. There are different meanings depending on how they come, what they say, and what they do. First, the spiritual meaning. In African spirituality, we believe that when a person dies, they do not disappear. They transition. They become ancestors. And as ancestors, they continue to watch over the family, to guide the living, to intervene when necessary. But they cannot simply appear in the physical world whenever they want. The veil between worlds is strong during the day, when the sun is high and the living are busy with earthly matters. But at night, when you sleep, your spirit loosens from your body. It wanders. It becomes receptive. And in that state, the ancestors can reach you. When they appear in your dreams, they are using the only pathway available to them. They are crossing from their world into yours to deliver a message that cannot wait. Sometimes they come to warn you, to tell you that danger is approaching, that you need to be careful, that you need to change direction. Sometimes they come to bless you, to tell you that you are on the right path, that your prayers have been heard, that protection is surrounding you. Sometimes they come to ask for something, to remind you that you have forgotten them, that you need to pour libation, that you need to honor their memory, that you need to visit their grave. Sometimes they come simply to remind you that you are not alone, that they are still with you, that the bond between the living and the dead is unbreakable. Second, the cultural meaning. Beyond the spiritual, ancestral dreams also carry cultural significance. They remind the living of their responsibilities, In African culture, the dead are not abandoned. We do not bury them and forget them. We remember their names. We tell their stories. We honor them with rituals, with offerings, with respect. When an ancestor appears in your dream, it is often a reminder. Have you forgotten me? Have you stopped saying my name? Have you neglected the duties you owe to those who came before you? This is why, after such dreams, families would often gather to pour libation, to visit the family shrine, to perform rituals of remembrance. The dream was a call to reconnect, to restore the relationship between the living and the dead. Third, the practical meaning. And then there is the practical side. Our elders noticed patterns. They observed that certain dreams often preceded certain events. When a grandmother appeared, looking sad or troubled in a dream, illness often followed in the family. When a grandfather appeared looking strong and smiling, good fortune often came. When an ancestor appeared and gave specific instructions, go here, do this, avoid that, following those instructions often led to protection or blessing. Were these predictions, or were they the ancestors using their position beyond the veil to see what was coming and warn their descendants? Our elders did not spend time debating. They simply paid attention. They followed the guidance, and they survived. There is a proverb among my people, and it is whispered in different forms across many African lands. Auo nanti nana na okasa. This proverb teaches us that death is not silence. Death is not the end of communication. Those who have passed continue to speak, not with mouths, but through dreams, through signs, through the quiet voice of intuition. When your ancestors visit you in dreams, they are speaking, and the wise person listens. The foolish person dismisses it as imagination and misses the message that could save their life, guide their path, or restore their peace. This is the wisdom. The dead are not silent. You just have to know how to hear them. Let me take you back to the morning after my grandfather visited me in that dream. When I told my grandmother what he had said, "Tell your mother to check the roof of the old house," her eyes widened. She did not hesitate. She did not question. She immediately sent word to my mother, who was in town. My mother came back that same day, and together with my uncles, they went to the old house where my grandfather had lived. They climbed up to check the roof, and there, hidden in the thatch, they found a small metal box. Inside was money, old currency that my grandfather had saved and hidden years before he died. Money the family desperately needed at that time. If I had not told them about the dream, if they had not listened, that money would have been lost forever. The roof was old, ready to collapse. Within a year, it did collapse. But by then, we had already retrieved what my grandfather wanted us to have. I remember another story from my village. A young woman dreamed of her late father 3 nights in a row. Each time he appeared standing by a river, looking worried, saying nothing but pointing at the water. She told her family. The elders interpreted, "He is warning you. Do not go near water. Do not travel by boat. Stay away from the river." She listened. She canceled a trip she had planned that involved crossing a river by canoe. 2 days later, news came that the very canoe she would have taken had capsized. Several people drowned. Was it coincidence? Or did her father, from the other side, see what was coming and warn her? We believe he saved her life. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This is just psychology. Dreams are just the subconscious mind processing memories and emotions. There is no actual visitation happening. And perhaps you are right. Perhaps modern science can explain it all away. Perhaps it is neurons firing, memories surfacing, the brain creating stories to make sense of loss. But here's what I want you to consider. Does it matter whether the dream is a literal visitation from the spirit world or a message from your own deep intuition, shaped by ancestral wisdom passed down through generations? Either way, the dream is trying to tell you something important. Either way, paying attention could save your life. Ignoring it could cost you something precious. And in a world that tells us to dismiss anything we cannot prove, anything we cannot see, maybe holding on to this belief is an act of wisdom, not ignorance. I still dream of my grandfather sometimes. Not as often as I used to, but when he comes, I pay attention. And each time, I wake up feeling less alone, because that dream reminds me that he is still there. Still watching, still guiding, still loving me from the other side. In a world where death is treated as absolute separation, where the dead are buried and forgotten, where grief is something to get over quickly, this African belief offers something different. It offers continuity. It offers connection. It offers the comfort of knowing that those we love are never truly gone. They are just on the other side of the veil. And when we sleep, when our spirits wander, we can still meet them, still hear them, still be guided by them. Maybe that is what our elders were really teaching us. Not superstition, but hope. Not fear, but connection. Not an ending, but a transformation. So now I ask you, have you ever dreamed of someone who has passed away? Did the dream feel different, more real, more vivid, more meaningful than ordinary dreams? And here is my second question. What did they say to you? And did you listen? Tell me your story. Tell me your culture. Tell me if your elders taught you to pay attention to such dreams, or if this is the first time you are hearing this. And if this story touched something in you, if it reminded you of someone you miss, then stay with us. Follow Roots of Africa, where we honor the ancestors, where we keep the old wisdom alive, where we remember that the dead are never truly gone. May your ancestors always find you in your dreams. May you have the wisdom to listen when they speak. And may you never walk alone, for they walk with you still. Until we meet again by the fireside, go well.